Hi guys, welcome to Road to the Big Time, a show all about athletes' pathways to becoming a professional. Today I'm pumped because we've got our very first episode of Road to the Big Time, and who better to start it with than an absolute legend. Today on the show, I've got second-year AFL player playing for the GWS Giants. Picked up 14th overall in the 2018 AFL draft. We got Jackson Haley. How are you, Jackson?
G'day Ryan, thanks for having me, mate. Thanks for the intro. Very nice.
Well, first up, how we like to start every episode, we'll just get you to give just a brief outline on your pathway to the AFL.
Yeah, no worries. I started playing footy when I was probably 5 or 6. I started playing for the Walkerville Wildcats in the Northeastern Metro Football Association. And I played there till I was about 13 or 14. Loved my time there, played almost 150 games there.
Hey,
And then ended up playing out at Central Districts. So I
yeah,
started in the juniors there when I was probably 13. Worked my way up there, played all throughout the under 16s, under 18s.
yeah,
Um, played a bit of state footy in under 16s and 18s, and
yeah,
then in my draft year, I was lucky to play some league footy for Centrals,
yeah,
which was great to get that experience. And then the big sort of carnival pre-draft is your under 18 national championship
yeah,
carnival. So I played in that for South Australia, and yeah, that's a pretty brief summary of a big journey
yeah.
to sort of how I found myself as an AFL player today.
Cool, mate. When you were playing junior footy, what kind of extras were you doing to just give yourself an extra edge?
I think it sort of changed a little bit as I got older. When I was sort of coming up under 12s, 13s, 14s, it
Yeah,
was just about getting the footy in my hands as much as I could. So I'd always just be walking around with a footy. I even slept with it until I was about
yeah,
12 or 13 years old. I would
yeah.
sleep with this footy. So yeah, I just loved having the footy in my hands.
Keep touching
And
it,
would
yeah.
always be asking dad for a kick
Yeah,
or someone for a kick, just nagging them.
yeah,
As you sort of work your way up, they become a little bit more strict with the amount of sort of kicks and stuff you can get in.
yeah,
They're a bit injury focused, and they don't want you to
yeah,
get injured or anything.
yeah,
And so that as I've gotten older, I do a little bit of extra cross training, just
yeah,
to stay really fit. So that might be extra boxing, an extra bike session, extra swim,
yeah,
just those sort of things that are off your legs a little bit. So
yeah,
you're not putting too much load on,
yeah.
but you're still getting fitter. So it's changed a little bit, but I think there's always little extra things that you can be doing to get better, and it's
Mm.
just about trying to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, what do you reckon is your most successful like training aid or equipment that you had?
Uh, well, it's hard to go past your footy. If you've got a
Yeah,
footy with you,
yeah,
then you can do a lot. You can seriously do
yeah,
almost everything you need. You can do push-ups and all that. But
yeah,
the footy is the one I yeah just encourage all the young guys just to get the footy in your hands as much as you can. The
yeah,
cleaner you can be, the higher levels you go up, from under 16s, then to 18s, then to, reserves, SNFL to league, and then to the AFL. The
yeah,
main difference between all of them is just how fast they are.
yeah,
And so if you're really clean with the footy, then it looks like you've got a lot more time.
yeah,
So yeah, the cleaner you can be, and the more you can have the footy in your hands,
yeah,
is going to be great for you going forward.
yeah, cool, cool. Oh, what kept you motivated to succeed? All those trainings and all that. What kept you motivated to keep doing it?
I think the main thing is for me, I just love playing footy.
Yeah,
So ever since I was a little kid, I just fell in love with it, and it was something that I always not always. So there is hard times when you struggle for a bit of motivation, but the thing I come back to is just that I really love it,
yeah,
and I think that when you find something that you really do love and are passionate about, then you'll always have that internal motivation. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
if you rely on the external or someone else telling you to do something or to get up and train early or anything like that, it might work for that day or the week that they do it, but eventually you'll stop listening to them. So I
yeah,
think the motivation has to come from internal,
yeah.
and I think the only way you can do that is by choosing something that you're really passionate about and you really
Have a
love.
love for it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you point out a time in your career, coming up through the ranks, where something really clicked in your head and you were like, yeah, I understand why we need to be doing this?
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good question. I played a lot of basketball as well growing up, and
Yeah,
you know, everything sport and
yeah,
everything, they're all similar. They all have transferable skills, and I think for that question, a little story about basketball. I used to be, I couldn't shoot when I played basketball.
yeah,
I was a really sort of bad shooter early
yeah,
days, and but this was about a year before we had under 16 nationals. I decided I wanted to be a really good sort of 3-point shooter.
yeah,
Something I never really shot in games or anything
yeah,
like that. I used to just sort of drive and try and get to the ring.
yeah,
But I wanted to be a good 3-point shooter, and so I thought I had to get a bit stronger because I was sort of just
yeah,
chucking it up.
yeah,
And so I started to do a lot of push-ups and things like
yeah,
that, to get stronger. And then eventually, as we got into the about 6 months ago before nationals, I started going down the Starplex, the great facility
yeah,
we've got at Trinity, and getting shots up 3 or 4 times a week before school,
yeah,
each morning, and just getting lots and lots and lots of shots up. And I started to get better throughout that Central District season for
yeah,
basketball at shooting. And then eventually when it got to nationals, I ended up shooting the most 3-pointers out of anyone there.
hey,
And so from a year before, when I wasn't a very good shooter,
yeah,
I think that just taught me I wanted to be a good shooter. And
yeah,
it's one of those things that everyone knows that you really should have practiced and put the work in, and if you really want something, then you can do it.
yeah,
So I think that just clicked for me there when I was looking back over that. I thought, a year ago I was one of the worst shooters, but I
yeah,
really wanted to do it. And so that was something that happened in basketball. But whether that's footy or music or whatever you want to do, if there's something that you're not quite as good as you want to be now,
yeah,
that doesn't you're not pigeonholed as being not
yeah.
good at that forever. You can still get better at it if you put the work in.
Cool, mate. It can be a little bit hard to impress coaches at tryouts, especially when you have only a few trainings most times. Did
Yeah.
you do anything when you were younger, like extra to try and stand out to the selectors?
No, you're right. It's one of those tough things about tryouts that you only get a certain amount of time to impress who's there.
Yeah,
But I think obviously the people who are selecting the teams, they like good people.
yeah,
So if you can be a great person and shake their hand, thank them for the session.
yeah,
If you can show some leadership out there, that goes a
yeah,
long way. But I think in terms of the skill stuff and sort of actually performing, I think the more tryouts you go to over
yeah,
time, you might have some that you don't do as well, and then some you do even better at than you thought.
yeah,
But the more tryouts you go to, it'll always average out, and
yeah,
you'll eventually get to where you want to go.
yeah, cool. Now, personally, I've tried a fair bit of variation in how much running training I do.
Yeah.
How did you go about running training when you were younger, and how's that changed since playing AFL footy?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of people trying to get fit at the moment
Yeah,
with the ISO stuff. There's heaps of people out and about running. I think the biggest thing that I've learned from when I was younger, people sort of think going for a run, you just want to, say you want to get 7 or 8 kilometers done, and when you're young, you sort of just try and I'm just going to go for a 7 or 8K run
yeah,
until I get that done. But as you start sort of going through and doing pre-seasons and learning, different stuff. A lot of the running that we never really run for more than a minute. So we might
Yeah.
do 6 minutes worth of 1 minute on, 1 minute off,
Yeah.
or 8 minutes worth of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And that sort of, it's more game-like,
Yeah.
because, in a game, you're running a lot, but you do get breaks.
Yeah.
And so just breaking the training up so that you're doing different running drills, but not just running straight. Some
Yeah.
people love just running all day, but a
Yeah.
lot of people, and I'm one. I don't enjoy that running as much.
Yeah.
I much prefer to do, if I had to run for 20 minutes, I'd rather do, go really hard for 1 minute on, 1 minute off,
Yeah.
rather than just do 20 minutes at a medium sort of pace.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned. And the other thing that the club does to help us out is they mix it up a lot, so we're not doing the same running every
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
They really vary it, which is always good.
Yeah. So at GWS, would you say so you do a lot more on and off than say like at 8, 9, 10K?
Yeah, absolutely. So they might say, this Saturday session we might have to get 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we've never done a session where we've just had to get, run for however long it takes us to get 10Ks. We always break it up, and we
Yeah.
do a lot of football drills as well in that. So, in the ISO it's a bit harder, but if you do have a partner and you can get some running in while you're doing your footy drills,
Yeah.
that helps a lot as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, all right, mate. I'd love to chat all day, but I know you're a bit busy. So that's all the questions we've got for you. You're an absolute champion for sitting down with me today. You've given some great advice to us, and hope you have an absolute killer season when we get up and running again.
Nah, you too, man. I appreciate having me on. You've got a bright future in this.
Cheers,
You're a
mate.
natural.
I've got plenty more questions to ask, so stay tuned for our next guest. This has been Road to the Big Time.